Miami's got a lot of targets in the state of Georgia. And one area I want to focus on right to start, Pete, Moultrie, Georgia, Colquitt County. This is where Miami landed Nye Carr. Those remember Nye Carr, top 75 player, committed to Georgia. Miami went and flipped him from Moultrie, which is not exactly a metropolitan area. That was a big flip when it happened. Carr goes to Miami first year, some ups and downs. I think just kind of still working on his body to be able to get to that next level of production, flashed his talent. Clearly, you could see the guy's got ability. But now what you see is his cousin. I guess, these guys are all cousins. It's like, growing up Cuban in Miami, everybody's got a million cousins. But in Moultrie County, Nye Carr's cousin is the newest linebacker from NC State,
Kamal Bonner.
Kamal Bonner. So he comes now to Miami, starting linebacker for NC State. A lot of people think he's the best linebacker or best defensive player at NC State. The boards were pretty, upset when he left there. Comes to Miami to join Aguirre, another Georgia guy, and Wesley Bassane. So you got two guys from Moultrie, Georgia, related. Now there's a third relative from Moultrie, Georgia. This is a 2026 four-star blue chip running back prospect, Jay Lamar. I don't know if it's Jay or Jai. I got the Jay Lucas kind of threw me off on the Jays and Jais. So we're working on this one, Jae. But this is a super talented guy, got a ton of SEC offers, visited Miami unofficially in the spring. Really a rising prospect. And you see on these highlights, man, this guy's got a lot of ability.
Yeah, his full name's Tyjavion, or Tyjavion. So I think it's Jay.
Tyjavion. Look at these highlights, man. This guy's ridiculous. Honestly, we looked at a lot of running backs here. Derek Cooper being the guy that I think Miami is laser focused, that they cannot lose as a South Florida guy. But there's just running back film, man. I got to say, this guy might have some of the best in the country with some size. He's a long strider. He's a slippery, elusive runner. He can break tackles. I mean, you see here, it's like every single run looks a little different. He's just kind of bouncing around, spinning around. And then when he gets going with those strides, he has some pull away speed.
6 foot 205 listed at as well. So big back.
And he's got a weird running style. You see, it's not like he's just going downhill, reading the hole. I mean, he's bouncing around. He's slippery. It's kind of unique the way he runs. I'm trying to think of a comp for the way he operates, but it's tricky. All I know is that the guy bounces right outside to the sideline. But look at that move right there, getting inside and then cutting against the grain. He just has a lot of athleticism, man, to do things that maybe are not the most efficient path to the end zone, but still finding a way to get in there. But anyway, so Miami visited him in Moultrie, Georgia, and he mentioned in his comments that he's related to Bonner. He's related to Nye Carr. It's not the biggest town in the world. So when I
saw him retweeting when Nye Carr entered the portal, and then that was one of his last posts on Twitter. So obviously they're close.
Yeah,
he didn't post when he returned to Miami though. So I don't know.
Well, he was talking Miami yesterday. Had an interview with CanesSport, and basically what he was saying was, yeah, I got my cousins there. It's a school that's recruited me hard, which they have. They've been on him nonstop. So he's somebody who I think, just pulling up his rankings here from 247. This is the highest ranked running back in the state of Georgia. Offers from everywhere. He's ranked number 8 in the country nationally. The crystal ball right now is on Georgia, but Georgia's after a lot of backs. Obviously, they're big on Derek Cooper as well. I mean, does not want to let that happen. But this guy is a key target. And you look at his quotes here. So he says, my cousin Nye Carr played up there. This to the Georgia site, so this is not to Miami. He said, my cousin played up there. My other cousin actually just transferred there, Kamal Bonner. He's from down here. Meeting Coach Cristobal, meeting all the coaches, the players. It's really about the connections and the relationship. They made me feel like a top priority. And this guy visited in January, again, unofficially, and then also for a spring scrimmage. So he's twice unofficially. He said the family feel of being around the players, being able to go to meetings, being able to see how Merritt runs the system. It was great being here the last few days. They're very competitive. They get after it. And then they're breaking down the EAT, effort, attitude, and toughness. EAT. Coaches love acronyms. So EAT, I guess it was the new one here for the Miami running back group, effort, attitude, and toughness. And then, schools in the mix, Clemson, Georgia, Florida State, we're looking at this. I think Miami can win. They're like focused. Derek Cooper, from three running backs, I think Cooper's plus one no matter what. From what I understand, Jay Lamar is a premium target.
We're getting connection issues here, by the way. So if we drop or if we're cutting in and out, then hopefully that now we got a comment saying stream is choppy, but nothing we can really do right now.
Yeah, let's see if we can get this thing sorted here.
So, but as you were saying, did you think they might take they might take three?
They might take three. Let's
we're good right now.
We're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. So yeah, I think they might take three with Cooper's a plus one no matter what. You know, Cooper's always going to be somebody that they take. They could have four running backs come in and they take Cooper as a running back. So I don't think Cooper really falls into it. It's more just like, let's just get good players in the boat. Mallory, they like the value. They like what he brings to the table. So they brought him in and without worrying about the other guys. And now, you know, Lamar, you can't really slow play a guy like that who's got SEC, he's a top 10 back in the country. So if you get him, you try to get him. I think that's really what we're looking at in Cooper. That process is probably going to be a long process. That's my sense of it. It's just going to be one of those that goes for a while. So you don't want to wait.
I wanted to, I don't want to break up this because I know we have someone else to get to here that Miami visited, but I wanted to get to this comment because I've seen this comment, something similar to this a couple times. Nick Isaac says, I don't think we'll be done making additions. From what we learned with Lucas, players can basically unenroll/enroll whenever they want. Last day to register is August 27th. My thing is this with Lucas, he was trying to enter the portal before, and they were not letting him enter the portal. So that's where the difference is. If there might be a situation out there that I'm unaware of, but I think it would have already been a public situation, right? So unless a player was like trying to and the school was preventing them in whatever way, that's what the out was. That's why Wisconsin can't come after Lucas in any way, because he didn't break any rules to even enter or try to enter the portal in the first place, right? So that's where the difference comes into play. But D, correct me if I'm wrong there.
No, you're right. So I don't think Miami's anticipating any additions other than, you know, maybe another defensive tackle with what's left in the portal. Keontae Scott is still out there, potential nickelback/safety coming from Auburn, coached previously by Zach Etheridge. He's still out there. Mohamed Torre, who I believe is visiting North Carolina now, has previously visited Penn State, Miami. Linebacker with 2 ACL injuries, but when he's healthy is a phenomenal talent. Looks pretty good in his workout videos, previously coached by Heatherman, Miami's new defensive coordinator. So those would be the names as far as potential additions. I don't see too much outside of that. And then this is the team, right? So that's kind of my view of it. Question here from Ostap Mikey. Thoughts on Cantwell after that tweet yesterday, basically congratulating Jared Curtis. I mean, I don't think the tweet means too much. We see that happen all the time with high school recruiting. I don't love that Curtis is recruiting him so hard because, you know, sometimes these personal relationships can be persuasive to players. But man, Cantwell's just got such a professional process that I'm not sure you ascribe the old emotional kind of recruiting rules to him. I mean, he's so cerebral about the process. You hear him talk about it. It's clear that he put a lot of thought into everything. And he just has a very professional process. Again, his parents are both Olympians. So I think the old recruiting rules like last visit, you know, the emotion, all that kind of stuff, I'm not sure it applies to Cantwell, but he's still a teenager. So who knows?
So you want to get to the other prospect?
Yeah. So let's go back to Georgia here with your favorite player, Pete. Heze Superman Kent out of Brunswick, Georgia. He had a visit from Miami's tight end coach, Coach Woodle, who I think it's telling that the tight end coach visited him because a lot of people think this guy's a future tackle.
This kid, how old is this kid, man?
I mean, Woodle's huge.
He's not 17, 18, man.
It's crazy, man. I mean, Woodle is a huge guy if you've seen him in person.
I'm not talking about the size, man. He's a grown man. Look at his face.
I know. Well, look, the question with him, everybody's going to have is he going to be a tackle? Defensive tackle, offensive tackle. He's a 290-pound tight end. I think Miami is recruiting him as a tight end, as you can see by Coach Woodle being there. This guy's got a lot of athleticism. He can catch. He can run with the ball. You know, do I think he's going to be, you know, Elijah Arroyo getting down the field? No, but the guy wants to play tight end. You bring him in and get him in the picture. right? I think he can help you as a tight end because he's basically a sixth offensive lineman who can still catch. And if something happens from there, you deal with it. But I think he's worth enough as a tight end that if he wants to play tight end, you recruit him as a tight end. That's kind of my view of the situation. But we got to get this quarterback. Look at this guy scrambling around. But there you see Heze Kent going up and getting the ball. This guy wants to catch the ball and make plays. Look at him here on the screen. We watch these highlights like 7 times and never gets old. Apparently,
Look at that.
Evan's saying if we steal Heze, there's going to be a complete meltdown in Canesville. Yeah, the Gators like Heze Kent there. You see him running the ball. But I think with Miami, it's just a better opportunity. I mean, who's the last tight end to come out of Gainesville? Kyle Pitts, another Gator bust. They really don't produce tight ends. Miami produces them. I guess.
I'm sorry.
I forgot about
look at
the
this
serial
poor
killer,
defensive back right here. Look at this. Look at this.
The guy ended up spinning around.
I'm running that back.
Yeah, run that one back.
I got to get it from like a couple steps before that. That's too good.
Let's see here. All right, so here we go.
First of all,
nice balance there with the first guy. And then look at this guy where he ends up. He's looking at the other end zone by the end of it.
Sheesh.
So Heze Kent brings a lot to the table here. I look at the athleticism. Here he goes, throwing the pass. Looks like Arroyo on the money in stride. Jason Santiago wants to know, top 5 Miami players you'd want to fight the gorilla. Yeah, that's very common. That gorilla thing took off, man. I think 100 men could beat a gorilla. I mean, men used to kill woolly mammoths. Those guys went extinct because like people killing them with sticks and sharpened rocks. I'm not sure. I think people are underestimating humans a little bit. I don't know, Pete. What's your thought on the 100 men versus the gorilla?
Those social media things I don't really not really into.
I know you're a mature man right now. You're in your 30s. You're spending most of your time on the golf course.
No, I don't even play golf anymore, man.
Really? What happened to the golf?
Just busy, man.
I get it. I see it.
We're running multiple shows a day,
It's true. That's true. You got to pay the cost to be the boss. There's Heze again. Interestingly, you don't see him blocking that much in these clips. You kind of just assume he's going to be a good blocker because of his size. But yeah, I think Darnell Washington. Is it Darnell? The tight end from Georgia, who Miami recruited out of Las Vegas. He was somebody who
I like this stuff though, moving him across formation, using him as a blocker that way too.
Yeah, I mean, 290 pounds coming at you, especially with the size Miami has a tailback right now. Although maybe this guy could play some tailback. Look at him breaking tackles here. So, anyways, Miami really likes this guy. Him and Zach Turner from Duncanville, Georgia, who's more of a small, quick, fast receiving tight end. They like to pair those two together, and that'd be the running back call, kind of similar to what you saw last year, where Heze Kent would be like the Luka Gilbert, that big guy that you think might be a tackle, but he's athletic enough that you could trust him as a receiver to catch the ball and get open. And then Brock Schott being the slightly undersized weapon who can run and make plays down the field. That'd be your Zach Turner from Duncanville. So I could see a replay of that situation where you have the big tight end and then the little quick tight end.
I said it before when I watched this highlight, but I give the offensive coordinator a ton of credit for how they're using him, man. They literally use him in like 15 different ways. Like it's not even the same route that he's running when he's out there as a receiver.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And I think it speaks to his mental too, right? We always underestimate the mental part of the game, but when a guy's doing this many different things,
that right there, like I think that's a legit weapon. We'll see what position he ends up playing, but you split him out wide. It's this next play here. You split him out wide here. Yeah, you can throw him the ball, but is it this play? I think I might.
Well, yeah, he's like 100 pounds.
Here. Right here. Look at this. But look at him as a blocker out here. I mean, that's a weapon. That's a big time weapon. These corners are not going to want to deal with that. You're gonna have to bring a linebacker or a safety into that side of the field.
Yeah, he has 100-pound size advantage over any corner or safety, really. I mean, 100 pounds. Yeah. So that makes a big difference. Here we go. We got the foremost authority here live from Botswana. This is the guy's going to know what's going on. Martin Dubé saying, I seen a Western silverback gorilla up close. 100 men can only beat a gorilla because it would get exhausted. A gorilla looks at a grown man the way Shaq looks at a 6-year-old. Yeah, so I had to tire out the gorilla. 100 men's a lot. 100 men it's just a lot of people. The gorilla would probably kill quite a few of them.